Be'ezrat Hashem, we are going into the 7th day of the month of Elul, Zayin Elul. And this year happens to be Mamash Hashgacha Pratit, Mamash perfect timing. First of all, you see that the sun cycle and the moon cycle, they meet, because Aleph Elul fell on 1st of September. So now the 7th of Elul is 7th of September. So that's already a nice Hashgacha Pratit. But more than that, since we had a leap year, then this year, Parashat Shoftim falls on the first week of Elul. Usually it will be further back. But nevertheless, the first week of Elul, we had a lot of tasks to do. I was recommending the first day to make a decision that you're doing Teshuvah. The next day we created a list. We went through the list throughout the week. We didn't finish. We'll continue the list next week. But now, since we're concluding the first week of Elul, then you see a beautiful Hashgacha Pratit that the parasha of Shoftim is about appointing judges and police officers in all your gates. And of course, it's referring to your cities, towns, and so forth. But we're going to take it to a more personal level. And the gates that the Torah is referring to is the gates of my body. And there's different approaches of which ones are these gates. Today we're going to touch the approach that we're talking about the 7 gates, which are our eyes, our ears, our nostrils, and our mouth. There's another approach. What are these 7 gates? This we're going to learn next week, Be'ezrat Hashem. But nevertheless, today we want to concentrate on these 7 gates, on the eyes, the ears, the nostrils, and the mouth. The Torah comes and tells me that I have to appoint judges, and then I have to appoint police officers. The judges are the ones who will judge what's right and what's wrong. The police officers are the ones who are going to actually make it happen. If something needs to be stopped, the police is going to be the ones who apply it. Now, what exactly is the judges that I need to apply? So I have 7 gates. My eyes look all day long. All day long my eyes are looking to all different directions. Very few people know how to focus their eyes and not to look. This is called Shmirat HaEinayim, guarding your eyes. Very few people know how to guard their eyes. Not because they're so unique. I'm saying the ones who are not able to guard their eyes, not because something wrong with them. The ones who are able to guard their eyes are just very different and unique. You know, it's said about the Chafetz Chaim that he used to sit and learn in a closed room, and he boarded up the windows. There wasn't any windows. And when they asked him, why you don't want maybe some air to come in, light, he says, oy vavoy, if I just take a glimpse out of the window, what am I going to see? I don't want to even look out the window for 1 second. But nevertheless, constantly my eyes are looking at things. Constantly my ears are listening. Constantly my mouth is talking. The nose, I would say, is a little bit less active. But nevertheless, the eyes, the ears, and the mouth are constantly working, and the eyes are constantly observing what's going on. Now I have to appoint a judge. The eyes are looking at something, and the judge has to tell me, this is not the appropriate thing to look at. Turn around. Sometimes I'm looking at a situation, I judge the situation completely wrong. My judge should tell me, why are you judging the situation like that? Maybe you judge the person favorably. Maybe you should judge the situation in a completely different way. Same thing with my ears. People are talking to me. Sometimes I'm drawn to, what are you saying? And sometimes I need to know when to say, this I don't want to hear. So again, this is all about appointing the judges. Same thing with the mouth. Sometimes I want to say something, sometimes it's not the appropriate thing to say. The other day I was in a meeting. My nature, before I became observant, I was a clown. But not a clown with a red nose. Just a jokester. Everything was jokes. I would make jokes on account of other people. I liked being sarcastic. I used to be very hurtful to if there would be a lot of people. I would get a kick off putting somebody down. My mouth was very sharp. But you know, it's still under the skin. The other day I was sitting in an appointment, a meeting, there was maybe 4 people there, and somebody said something and I had such a good comment to make. And if I would make this comment, first of all, I would laugh. I was laughing inside of me, just thinking of the comment that I wanted to say. And I knew the other people would laugh also. But the comment that would be said on that person would probably be offended. And it wouldn't be appropriate. You are saying such a thing. So I was literally, it was, as they say, it was standing on the tip of my tongue. But the judge that was appointed to the mouth told me, don't say that. That's not going to come out good. You're going to hurt that person. You're going to look not so mature or responsible or serious. Don't say it. And you know, there was a Yetzer Hara there was pounding and saying, say it, let's break the ice. Let's make it a little bit more playful and joyful. Wow, what's the big deal? So you say something that is not so appropriate. But this is where the judge comes in, and you need to appoint the right judges. Because if I would listen to the wrong judge, I would say that with no problem. But Baruch Hashem, the judge that was there, told me, don't say that. The consequences are going to be bad. You're going to lose much more than gaining. And all this is going on in my mind within maybe 3 to 5 seconds. Should I say it or should I not? So this is the idea of appointing the judges. And this is, I'm giving you one example. I can give you now 50 examples. But these gates are very powerful gates. And maybe in another class we'll talk a little bit about the nose, because the nose, a lot of people say, well, what's the big deal? Well, I'm not doing anything with my nose. But nevertheless, I will give you a quick example. The nose is more of a mystical part of it. But nevertheless, here we live in Tzfat, everything is kosher here and everything is quiet. But go in Tel Aviv or in a big city anywhere in the world, sometimes you go next to a restaurant, whoa. And you know what? You might not have this Yetzer Hara. But I know people that they'll go next to a restaurant and take a big sniff and they smell a grill or something, they will go in. They will round corners. They will say, okay, today I don't have to be that kosher. I'm gonna close one eye. So even the nose, again, a lot of people don't relate to that. They say, what's the big deal? No, smelling food? I can tell you that another example, just that you have something to work with. I wake up very early in the morning, if I even go to sleep, and I go here to the mikveh by Shemen Evel. The bakery here, at 4 o'clock, that's when they bake it. You walk in at 4 o'clock in the morning to the bakery, it's like, the smell pulls you. Like in the cartoons that they had that on the nose. Now, nothing wrong with having a cookie, right? But I, a long time ago, made a decision that I am limiting myself as much as I can from physical pleasures that I really don't need. So having a cookie at 4 o'clock in the morning, you really don't need it. And if you already want to have the cookie, then hold yourself, put yourself under control and have it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and have it a little one. So I know for some people it's going to be, what's the big deal? So get the cookie. But when a person really works on themselves and refines themselves, in order for me to put myself in through limits and to know how to control my desires, then it starts with little things. If I know how to control myself with getting a cookie or not getting a cookie, then when it comes to a big challenge, I have already the tools, the system is oiled, so I'm able to overcome my desire. So I can tell you again, I go sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning to the mikveh, the smell, it can drive you nuts, that smell of these chocolate croissants and those cinnamon buns. Oh, you, as they say, you can die for. So the nose also you need to put a judge on. So the eyes, the ears, the nose, and the mouth. The mouth is the deadly of all, because the mouth has the 2 direction. Eyes, you only look. You know, nothing, there's no, I mean, the direction is coming in. There's nothing go out. You're not Superman that you're sending laser beams. Same thing with the ears. It only comes in. The nose, it comes in. The mouth is even more danger because it goes out. What comes in, that's all the food that you put in your mouth. One side is the kosher diet, the other one is the health department. 99.9% of people on this planet, what they put in their mouth is not even food. It's chemicals, GMO, MSG, junk. I don't even, no wonder half this planet is sick. But that's already what's going on into the mouth. And then on top of that, add the kosher department, which I know a lot of people don't like hearing it, but even the ones who think they observe the kosher diet I can guarantee to you that half of them are not really observing the kosher diet, not deliberately. Some of them are doing it deliberately, even not deliberately. 50% of the food that you think is kosher is not really kosher. But nevertheless, this is what's going on into the mouth. But the mouth has a deadlier side that things go out of the mouth. What you say, how much times you lie, the lashon hara, the slandering, cursing, false language. Oh, Hashem yirachem, what's going on here? So what we want to do, especially when we're focusing on it, is to understand is first of all, most important, that I have to appoint judges to these gates. If the judges are not going to do their job, then the gates are open. The gates are open, I'm vulnerable to attack from any direction. Then of course I have to appoint the right police officers. The police officers is the system that you apply. So if I made a decision, I'm talking about myself right now, I made a decision a long time ago that I want to minimize as much as possible physical pleasures that I really don't need. A, because I really don't need it, because most of it is not even healthy for me. More than that, when I know how to put myself on a leash, or I put myself under control for little things, ice cream, a cookie, coffee, whatever it is, when it comes to the big pleasures that are hard to control, then my system is already functioning. So, how do you appoint a police officer here? You have to come up with systems. So I'll give you one example out of many. I'm giving examples just that you can relate with what I'm saying, and you develop your own examples, your own methods. I have very strong weakness to coffee. I love coffee. I don't want to say the word addicted, because I'm not, but I love coffee. If I don't put myself under control, I will drink 10 cups of coffee a day. But a long time ago I already put myself under a leash. Not because I'm now advocating if coffee is good, not good. That's not the point. The point is to put myself under a leash. So sometimes I would open up my eyes right away, coffee. But nevertheless, I put myself under control. Then you know when I have my first cup of coffee? At 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Why? To put myself under discipline. You're not having it when you want to. I want it at 6 in the morning. I want it at 7 in the morning. The other day I had a break in the morning. I came home, it was 11. I had half an hour. Kind of like a break to work. Right away I went to the coffee machine. No. Wait till after you come back. We'll be about 2:30. Yeah, but I have half an hour. Have a good cup of coffee while I'm checking my emails, while I'm reading, while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. The officer, no. You have it at 2. Why? Break this desire, break the te'ava, put yourself under control. So, this is the police officer that is saying, no, now you can't. The judge is the one who says it's not good for you. But the officer is the one who says, you have the coffee at 2. You have the coffee at 4. Now this is one example out of many. What we want to take from that is that you first of all have to appoint judges, and the judges that you have to judge the situation. Should I listen to what you have to say right now? You know how many times people come and tell me, you know, so-and-so, I don't want to hear. No, you have to, I don't want to hear. I know I want to hear, but I don't want to hear. So this is where you appoint the judge. Should I listen to what you have to say right now or not? Should I look to this direction right now or not? Should I judge this individual right now like this, or should I judge him like that? Same thing with everything, with what I see, with what I hear, with what I eat, and then of course with what comes out of my mouth, which is the deadliest. Should I say that right now? Should I make this joke? Should I make this comment? Should I now go and slander this individual? Then you have to apply that. Not easy to do, but definitely one of the most important things, because when you apply that now, as we're going through this Elul guide, first of all, you have to start reflecting. That we'll do next week or probably the following week, is everything that I damaged. How many times did I say lashon hara in the last 11 months? How many times did I slander, curse, lied, looked in the wrong direction, very quickly to listen to lashon hara? I have to make an account from that. Because a lot of the time, people are looking at sins. Oh, I didn't put tefillin on today. I didn't I didn't say birkat hamazon today, whatever. Yeah, how many times did you look to the wrong direction? That's a sin from the Torah. You're not allowed to go after your eyes. How many times you did this in the last 11 months? 1,500 times? How many times did you look to the wrong direction? So we have to make some type of an account. But first of all, damage control. Sur mera ve'aseh tov. First move away from evil, then start doing good. So the first way, you close all the gates. like a city that is under attack. Right away they close the gates. Nobody coming in, nobody coming out. So this is what you want to conclude the last day of the first week of Elul, is how am I isolating my domain, that nothing evil and impure comes in, and any junk that there is, it's easy to start spitting out. The problem is that when a person is trying to spiritually detoxify himself by spitting out all the poison, but if still comes in, then you'll never clean yourself out. In order to get rid of all the junk that's inside, now first of all you have to close it, seal it 100%, get rid of all the junk, get rid of all the toxins. Now the inside is clean. Now start fixing. So the first week is concluded is how I border myself. And the most important thing is, you have to appoint the right judges. How do you appoint the right judges? That we'll have to talk about already next week, because, simply said, is that you just think before you do. Think before you say. You analyze everything. Now you got to be careful not to do it in an OCD way, because some people, they go a little bit overboard with it. But nevertheless, you think. You don't impulsively react. Most people, they react or act very impulsively. But you start by appointing the judges by saying everything that's going to happen to me right now, I'm taking 3 seconds to think about it. Even something good. I was talking about last week about how most people, they say brachot, they don't even know what they're saying, they don't even meditate on that. So you're taking now, I don't know what, an apple? Look at the apple for 2 seconds. Think, I'm going to eat an apple. What's the bracha? It's borei pri etz. Why am I saying a bracha? To release the godly spark from the apple. I'm now thanking the Kadosh Baruch Hu for the creation. Take 3 seconds to meditate, then the bracha is done on a completely different level. Then saying, so everything you want to appoint a judge, I'm talking now the bad things, but also on the good things. You're about to put tefillin on? Take 5 seconds, close your eyes, meditate. I'm going to now be connected to the highest level of godly revelation that is called Atzmut and Sof. What am I doing right now? So I'm going to now tie the hand 7 times. I'm wrapping the Yetzer Hara, I'm tying him. The whole day he's going to be tied to a tree. I'm doing 7 rounds. Why? Corresponding to 7 sfirot. I'm bringing on myself Shefa from the Sfirah of Bina. You have to have a little bit. I'm not talking to you now to be doing kavanot of the Arizal. To have some type of an awareness. So this is another type of a judge. What am I about to do right now? Before I go home, before I knock on the door, I take also a 10-second break. I'm going into my home. Leave the anger out. Leave any type of frustration out. Leave any type of aggravation out, because my kid is not should be the one that when I waltz into the house, he's the first one who's getting get out of here. Why is that a mess? So I take a 10-second break before I walk in, and I tell myself, my wife, she's my wife, she's not a punching bag. My kids are not punching bags. If I have some type of anger, take it out right now on yourself. Or take it out. Read the 3-4 chapters of Tehillim. Relax before you're going home. So you want to do that with everything. So the appointing the judges is that you think for 2-3 seconds, what is the next step? Should I react like this? Should I react like that? The Mishnah says, Ezu hachacham, who's a wise person? Haroeh et hanolad, that sees what's going to be birthed out of a situation. Take a small stop and saying, if I will react like this, what would be the result? And if I react like that, what would be the result? The result here is going to be amazing. Here is going to be a disaster. I choose amazing. Exactly like what I told you that a few days ago I was dying to say what I had to say. That would have been the comment of the century. I was laughing inside. I couldn't contain inside. I was sitting like this, and I'm dying to say it had to be said. When I was a kid, there was a movie, Roger Rabbit. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? So he was hiding, and then the bad guy was going, and he's sitting in the hiding place, and he's dying to say, ten, ten, and at the end he did it. That's how he got him out. So I was dying to say, but Baruch Hashem, the judge was a Supreme Court judge. If you say that, oy va'avoy lecha. So you appoint the judges by thinking, what will be the result of what the action I'm about to do? And a smart judge will tell you, don't do it. Don't do it. How many times you raise your hand, you're about to already slander somebody's face with a fist. Don't do it. It's not going to end up good. So you want to appoint judges. You want to conclude the first week of Elul by how am I first of all isolating myself from any evil coming in, and by that I can start detoxification. The detoxification is getting rid of all the junk. Now we're going into the next week of Elul. We have to start getting rid of the junk, because only in the last week of Elul that I got rid of the junk, then I can really start cleaning out the system from inside. Then I'm ready to go into Rosh Hashanah. I have a beautiful, clean vessel. Then I can get the shefa, the abundance, the blessing of the Kadosh Baruch Hu for the next coming year. Have a beautiful, restful Shabbat.